The Nether is a scary and dangerous place. But what if I could show you a way on how to build in the Nether and not be afraid of these monsters? Well, in today's video, I'm going to show you an easy trick to turn off all the mobs in the Nether while you're in survival mode. Let's dive into the build. In order to shut off the mobs in the Nether, we have to understand what population control caps mean, aka mob caps. There are 5 different categories of mobs: ambient, animal, monster, pillager, and water animal. And mobs can show up in 3 different places: the overworld, the Nether, and the end. What we are going to focus on today is the Nether. And if we look at the monster category, you'll see that the Nether has a cap of 16 mobs. And then if we look at the animal category, you'll see that the Nether has a cap of 4 mobs. Knowing this information allows us to understand what is needed to control the mob cap. Well, unfortunately, this does not shut down all of the mobs in the Nether, but it does control an area that is 9 by 9 chunks or 144 blocks by 144 blocks. First question that comes to mind is, where exactly should we build one of these? And a perfect example of where to build one of these would be a Nether fortress. So what we're going to do is find the middle of this fortress, which looks about a little bit past where this pillar is. So what I've done is I've saved a copy of this. I went into creative mode and I found the middle of this fortress. In the middle of this fortress, up near the ceiling of the Nether, I went ahead and cleared out this room that I can fit 2 4x4 squares to build our mob switches. This mob switch is incredibly easy to build and takes very limited resources. Here's everything you're going to need. So the first mob switch we're going to build is to prevent all the monsters from spawning in the Nether. So what we're going to do is build a fence perimeter around this square, so that when you're finished, you have a 4x4 in the middle. Then once you have that, go ahead and place your temporary block and add a piece of fencing on top of that temporary block and then remove it. Now we're going to go ahead and do the exact same thing, surround this 4x4 area with a fence with this 1 space gap in between. And that is it for this build. We're going to go ahead and fill this fence in now with some chickens. Next, we can go ahead and grab our eggs and toss eggs into this pin so that we can get 3 baby chickens. Now we want to go ahead and take our anvil and name our name tags. Once you've got your 3 baby chickens, go ahead and throw your splash potion of oozing at them. Now carefully kill those baby chickens without hitting the slime. If you do hit the slime, you're going to have to start over. And we're going to get all 6 of our slimes with a name tag. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now make sure you carefully kill the slime that are named. There goes 1. That way you're able to put the last name tag on the 6th one. Another one. Another one. And the middle one there has to get named, so that's the only one I have left to get a name tag on. There we go, we got them. And done. And now each one of those slimes have persistence, meaning they won't despawn. So if we run far enough away, take my boat. Now we come back down here and look, there's no mobs. And our slime is still here in the pin, taking up the entire mob cap. There is also animals considered in the Nether, which are your hoglins. And in order to get rid of the hoglins, we just have to build a small fenced-in area and throw in 4 baby chickens. Once you get 4 baby chickens in there, then there's no animals that can spawn, which means you won't have any hoglins either. And then in order to give those baby chickens persistence, we could just give them some seeds, or you can name tag them. Now, one of the things you do have to be careful is that if one of the mobs picked up an item on the ground, then that's going to consider them to be persistent, and they're going to be unable to despawn as well. So you have to keep your eye open for 1 or 2 mobs in that case. But overall, there isn't anything spawning on this fortress. So we're going to fly down there, and we're going to check it out. Also, another thing you want to be careful is on any spawners. Spawners can still spawn, so you have to block those off. But here I am inside the Nether on survival without anything spawning until I get to the point where that 9 chunk barrier ends. And then if you wanted to clear out another area of mobs and you felt like you needed to cover more of a space, you can build another one of these up in that ceiling right there, and none of these mobs would spawn in either. Well, I hope everybody had a great day. I hope you learned a little bit about how to control your mob cap in the Nether. If you enjoyed today's video, go ahead and hit that like button, smash that subscribe button, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.